So here basically we have discussed the input statement and print statement where it is used after the process. Then output statement, which is basically the command or the statement is outprint, and we have discussed the various ways how you can write your print statement. Similarly, we have discussed how it is used along with the separator. Next, and here you can also see that AND operator is used and is used like your separator. So here not to throw the cursor to the next line. So this AND is used if we do not want the cursor move to the next line. At that time the AND is to be used, and the syntax is AND is equal to characters. So we'll see the various part of it. Suppose you are writing the statement print inside the double quotes hello comma AND is equal to single quotes, you are not writing anything, right? If second statement print world and is equal to once again single quotes, we are not writing anything inside. Then print python double quotes comma and not anything. So what it happens whenever you are writing and you are not writing here anything, right? So in that case what happens, the cursor will remain onto the same line, right? It does not allow the cursor after the print statement to move to the next line. It will stop onto the same line. So the first line print will be print hello will be printed, after that the cursor will remain on the same line. The world will be printed, after that the cursor will remain on the same line, and then python will be printed, and then cursor will go to the will remain onto the same line. But suppose inside the end if you have used a slash n, then cursor will move to the next line. Or if you do not write the end, then once again the cursor will move to the next line. So make sure that whenever you want to stop a cursor onto the same line, the end is to be used. Next is and along with the red color, print hello end is equal to slash t, print world inside the double quotes and is equal to single quote slash t, then print python and is equal to slash t. So what it happens, it once again stop the cursor move to the next line, but whatever you will giving inside the slash t inside that end, it will be executed. So here hello will be printed, cursor will remain onto the same line, then tab will be there, so it will give the space of it. World will be printed, once again tab, it will give the space of it, then python will be printed, and once again it will give the tab of it. So by using AND you can control your cursor to move to the next line. So it will basically use to restrict your cursor that it does not move to the next line, it will remain onto the same line. The print is used along with both string as well as variable a is equal to 2. Then print a comma inside the double quotes is even number. So here both are there. One is variable, second string. So print is used along with that also. In between that you can use the comma operator. So it will display 2 is even number. Print you typed single quotes comma a comma as input. So once again here you typed and as input is your string, a is your variable. Then once again everything will be written onto the same line, so output will be displayed as you type to as input. In this way you can use your string as well as variable both together. Hope everyone have understood the output statement. Now we are going towards the input statement. Input statement, as we know, basically input is the method to take the input from the user, right? So basically that input will be treated as your string. So here str is equal to input. So here it will accept the input from the user. For example, user have to input Rajkumar. The output is written, and whenever you will print, the output will be displayed as Rajkumari. But here nothing is there. Input likha, the screen will be displayed only with the blinking cursor. Then you should understand मुझे यहाँ पर क्या enter करना है. But you, if you want to if you want to display the sum prompt to understand what we have to enter, for that purpose inside that round bracket you have to write something. So you are writing str is equal to input. Input is your method to accept the input from the user. Then inside the round brackets you are writing enter your name. So that prompt will be displayed whenever you will run this. So you will come to understand, yes, I have to enter the name. So here it will wait and it will be displayed like this one, enter your name, and then you have to enter your name as Rajkumar. And then whenever you'll print str, that is your string which you are accepting the input, so Rajkumar will be displayed. Next, suppose you want to accept any integer number. At that time what you can do, first you will use str equal to input, enter a number, same as, then enter a number 120, 120 you have it, but basically that is your string. So you have to write the int. right? X is equal to int, then that particular str, so it will be treated as your number. Now whenever you print x, so it will be 120. Similarly here also, uh, first you write int, then inside the round brackets you round input, then round bracket enter a number. You can also write the consecutive statement in one statement as well. Likewise here in the red color you have written x is equal to float, input enter a number. So here I want to accept the float number from the input. Float is basically your data type of the float. Then input is basically used to accept the data from the user. Then enter a number. Then print x. Whenever printed, it will display the output as 120.25. Right? Directly cannot read character. As I have said at the time, you cannot read directly a character. You have to read on a string. There is no characters to be considered at that time. So if you want to accept a character, how you can do it? If you want to accept the character, how you can do it? Basically, we'll accept the data from the string zeroth position. We can consider it the single characters, right? So here we'll accept a single character. Ch is equal to input, enter a single character, then print you enter ch of 0. The string is taken as input and we are considering ch of 0, that is your first character. So here by using this way you can accept your single character from the user. So here everyone have understood how to accept the input. Now consecutive input, if you want to accept the consecutive inputs instead of the individual, so how you can write it? Write a program to accept the three integer in the same line and display it. We want to accept the three integer at the same time, right? v1, v2 and v3. So how it will be written? It will be written in this way: v1 comma v2 comma v3 is equal to int data which you want to accept, then the variable which refers. So here we are writing as x, then for loop for x in, then after that you will write a method input, then enter a three number. Make it clear, you should understand three variables v1 comma v2 comma v3. We are int your in data type, your integer which you want to accept. X is basically your variable. Then we are using the for loop for x in, then input is your method to accept the input. Then here inside that round bracket we are writing enter a three number. So here this prompt will be displayed onto the screen, and after that we are writing the split method. Split method basically we are splitting the data by using this symbol. So here we are not writing anything, so here we can consider is the space, and print sum is equal to v1 plus v2 plus v3. So here sum is equal to inside the double quotes, and by separated comma separator we are performing the addition of all these three variables. So whenever you run these two lines of the code, the output will be displayed in this way: enter a number. So you will write 1 space 2 space 3, then press enter, it will display the sum as 6. Similarly, if you want to accept other way, v1 v2 v3 int x, your variable for x in input is your method, then dot splits comma. Here you will accept the input three numbers v1 v2 v3, but all three numbers will be comma separated at the time of accepting the input. So what is the use of the split? You can understand it. For that purpose the split is to be used. Then print sum is equal to v1 plus v2 plus v3 separated by comma. Then whenever you run these two lines of the code, it will display enter three numbers. So you'll write 1 comma 2 comma 3, then the output will be displayed as 6. So here we have understood how we can accept the consecutive data as input from the user, and how we can split it one numbers from the other numbers if you are using a consecutive data. So here in this tutorial we have understood input and output statements and their utilization in the Python, how you can accept your input and how you can display the output, how you can accept the single input, double input, multiple input, etc. So here we have covered the first lab outcome to understand the basic concepts in Python. One motivational code you to is there: one day or day one you decide it. What is the meaning of it? One day I will start studying. If you are thinking in this way, it will never come. Whenever you are deciding this is my day one and now I will go ahead, so that will be the starting point. Only the words are changing, but it will decide your way of working. One day never comes. One day I will do the work. Where is one day? But you'll say that this day one I will start work, then the counting begins. And I want you people to start counting. If those who haven't started, you make sure that this is your day one should be started. Hope this concept is clear to you. If this is clear to you, post it in the chat box. Understood. Or if anyone is having a doubt, you can post your doubt in the chat box as well. If the concept is clear, post it in the chat box. Understood.
Sir, you are muted.
First question by the Abrar. Abrar is asking how many people should be there for the mini project in Python, 3 or 4. Abrar already mentioned in the syllabus or the curriculum, 2 to 3 students are allowed. So as per that, you make a group for the Python project I'm talking about, not for the mini project. Second question which
Sir,
is asked, yes, yes,
sir,
yes,
is there any practical exam for Python?
yes. No, 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 there is no practical examination. It is not
Yes,
mentioned in the syllabus. You do not have any practical examination, only you have the submission of the term
term
work.
work.
Yeah, but
Yes, sir.
but make sure that this really this language is very helpful for you for your entire life. So make sure
Okay,
that the
sir.
importance of this subject according to the mark, no matter, only you have the 25 marks, and once you will submit it, you will get it. But definitely I'm trying to teach you in such a way that whenever you require at the further stages, at that time the Python programming nowadays is going ahead. These we are going throughout the basic concept, but whenever you go ahead, artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, everywhere you will find it. And once the basic and everything is clear to you, no one can stop you. The second question, sir, what is the difference between the species and split? Species in SEP, separator. Anas is asking separator and split. Split is basically whenever you are using that multiple input you are accepting from the user. At that time, you will give the data 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So to differentiate between split of the data कि कौन सा data separate है, right? 1 space 2 space 3 space 4, so each data will be separated as separate. Suppose आपने 1 2 3 4 दिया, then it is okay. But if you are giving 12 13 14 15 etc at the same time, so it will also be easier for you to understand, right? And to understand for the compiler as well. That's why 12 space 13 space 14 space 15 space 16, in this way will go. So we'll understand that first data is 13, second data is 14, third data is 15. In this way it will go ahead. And that separator is basically whenever you are printing, it will be separated with that particular symbol: separate, comma, separate, colon, separate, hyphen. So whenever you want to print a multiple data, once again if you require a separator, then it will be easier for you to understand. For example, if you are printing 12 13 14 15 16, but there is no separator is there, so everything comes in the same way, and you will consider it either it is 12 or 1 2. You are not getting it clear. So how the data, what is the data, it is 1 2 or 12, right? You will also be confused at that time. That's why the separator will be there. So there will be 12 comma 13 comma 14 comma 15, in this way, right? 12 colon 13 colon 14 colon something. So you will easily understand this is the data, 12 is the data, it is not 1 2. So for that purpose, this separator and the split is to be used. Hope Anas, Anas, hope you have
Sir,
understood. Yes, Deepak.
sir, in that print statement, that what is the difference between the double inverted commas that we write the string and in the single inverted commas?
So who will answer it? I want to you. I want anyone student answer it. Yes, I want you to answer it. Yes.
So I
Have
don't
you
think there's
understood
any
the
difference
question?
between.
Have you understood
Yes,
the
sir. What is
question?
the difference between double quotes and single quotes now?
Yes. Now you answer it.
Sir, I don't think there's any difference.
That you tell me na.
Sir,
That you
hello.
tell them. That you tell them. That's why I'm saying you to.
There's no
Sir, we can
difference
use
between the double between single quotes.
Both are
Both are exactly the same.
both are same, right? Who is saying?
Yes,
Samir.
sir.
Samir, do you want to add something?
Yes, sir, we can use triple quotes as well.
Yes, we can use the single quote, double quote, and triple quotes. All are same. किसने पूछा था question? दीपक.
Deepak, sir.
दीपक
Yes,
समझा
sir.
क्या?
हाँ, sir.
क्या?
Mm,
What you
they
understood?
are of the same use.
Suppose you want to display high, so you can write it either in the single quotes, either you can write it in double quotes or triple quotes. All to be treated as the string. जब हमने string देखा था data type में, at that time I have given this example with the all three single quotes, double quotes, and triple quotes. So everything the meaning is same. Hope you have understood.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any other doubt?
Hello, sir.
Who is there? Salim. Yes.
Sir, what is the difference between case fold and lower method?
Case fold and lower method. We'll see it in the case of the string. जब
Okay,
स्ट्रिंग
sir.
पढ़ाऊंगा ना मैं, अभी इसके बाद आएगा स्ट्रिंग, तो वो टाइम पे मैं आपको प्रैक्टिकली दिखाऊंगा कुछ मेथड्स. एट दैट टाइम द केस फोल्ड आई विल ट्राई टू कवर इट.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, what if you have to print? Abrar is asking, sir, what if we have to print an int value? Are they all same again, single quotes and triple quotes? I am not getting your question. Inside the quotes, it is not anything. It is only the string. अगर आप लिखते हो Anas Abrar Akhunji inside the single quote, it is also the string. If you are writing Abrar Akhunji is your rule number 1, then also it is the string. If you are writing inside anything inside the quotes, so basically it will be treated as string, it will be printed same as it is. But if it is outside of this string, then it will be considered as your value. So at that time, suppose A is your roll number, so A will be without your quote, so it will display your roll number. So it will print your value only. Okay, he is saying that he have understood. Okay. So now I am going for the further control statements. So I really feel good. This session was very interactive and you are concentrating onto the concept very good as well, and you are replying as well. So the screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you for the reply. Next topic that we are going to discuss it here, the control statements in Python. What are the different control statements? As we know, the control statements like if, else, if, while, or do while, or switch, or for loops, etc. But here there is no switch statement, so we won't say it here. There is no do while statement in case of that Python, but whatever there will try to see to it. This is one simple example. First I have taken first simple example. Write a program in Python to calculate area of circle. We want to calculate, right? So some of the classes, some of the packages are already available in packages. Some of the variables or the methods are there. We can directly utilize it, right? In the Java, we are writing import java.io.star. So what is that meaning? So this is basically one of the package where the input output class meaning and the methods are available. Similarly, in Python also there are many more packages which is which is already defined or the user are making. So you can import it with the help of that import keyword. Then import the name of the package. These are the inbuilt packages are available. We have to import it. So here first one is import math. Now we can use the math variable and method, those who are available. First, we are accepting the float number as input from the user. Float input, enter a radius. After that, r is equal to math dot pi. Right, we are writing pi. We are not writing a value of pi, and we haven't declared anywhere the value of pi, but we are using along with the reference of your import package math. So math dot pi, it will already define in that packages, and it will take that value 3.147 etc. Then multiplied by r. Then r square hai. For that purpose, we have understood that double exponential double multiplication symbol is to be used. So multiply by multiply, then 2. So that will be treated as your square. So pi is a constant in math module. It will take that constant value. So whenever we'll display print area of circle, that area will be displayed. As you can see the output here. Enter the radius. We have entered the radius 15.5. Then area of circle is displayed. Now this value is very large, 754.7676 etc. up to 78. Right. But if you want to reduce that value up to the number of digits, you can see it in the red color as 754.7.77. Right, we want to limit it. For that purpose, you can write the statement in this way: area of circle 0.2f dot format area. Right, so it will be written in the same way. Area is basically a variable, and everything will be written same as it is. So it will take that particular rounded value after that dot decimal, and it will be displayed. So here it will be displayed like this one, that is dot 77. So here we are normalizing the values. Next is if statement. There are many ways. If statement, it will remain same as Java. If else statement, it will be remain as Java. But in a case of the ladder, we have used if else if etc. Right? But there is no else if. Here it is if condition and etc. If condition and etc. If condition and etc. At the last else statement. Then while loop and for loop. There is no switch case statement and there is no do while. Either we can use the while loop or either we can use the for loop. So the next if statement, the syntax is if condition, then colon mark, no round bracket, colon mark, press enter, the indentation mark, it will leave it like your four space on the left hand side. Then here you write the statement. This statement will be executed once the condition will be true. Right. In this way, this is a syntax of the if statement. Next is a simple example. If number is positive, we print number equal to 10. It is declared if number greater than 0 colon, press enter. Here after some space, that is an indentation, you can write print number is positive, num comma is a positive number. If this condition will become false, you can see that without indentation, just after below the if it is written print, this is always printed. So it is printed. So once we'll run this program, it will give the output as number is positive number. Right, it is greater than 0. But once again entered, जब ये false हो जाएगा, once again it will print this is always printed. So both the statement are printed in this way. Next is your if else statement. If text expression colon, if text expression colon, then body of if, else colon, body of else. So whenever this text expression is right or correct or returns to true value, then body of if will be executed. Otherwise, whenever it will be false, else what will be executed. You can see the indentation mark after if, you can see the indentation mark after the body also. So without indentation mark, it won't be considered as a part of else. But with indentation mark, it will be considered a part of if, it will be considered as a part of else. We'll see the example here. Suppose num is equal to 3, it is declared. If you are writing in this way, if num greater than equal to 0 colon, then press enter indentation mark, then print positive or 0, else print negative number, else colon indentation mark, then this last print will be considered as the part of else, then first print it will be considered as part of if. So number is your 3 greater than equal to 0, yes, so it will print positive or 0. Suppose you have taken number is equal to -5, so what it will print, it will print the else part. Right, so here it will print that this is the negative number. I have given these examples here, so once you want, you can execute at home to understand more clearly. So here we have covered if else. Now if elif, so the syntax will be if test expression colon, press enter, then indentation mark, body of it, then elif test expression colon mark, press enter, indentation, then body of elif. In that way you can write how many number of the elif you want. After that at the end else colon, then press mark, press enter, and then indentation mark that body of else. In this way you can write a if else ladder, but it will be if elif 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 at the end l. Simple example, you can see to it. num is equal to 3.4. Here the number is declared. If num greater than 0 colon, press enter indentation mark, that will be the part of your num expression, num greater than 0 expression, print positive number. L if, that you are written just below the if. So once this n a number greater than 0, it will become false. It will check elif. Number equal to 0 colon, press enter indentation mark, print 0. The print 0 will be the part of first elif. So whenever the number is 0, it will print 0. Else, whenever it is not matching, it will go else colon indentation, and here you will write print negative number. So it will execute this statement. Here the number is 3.4. So it will print the first one. 3.4 greater than 0. First one is satisfied. So it will print the positive number, and then it will exit it. So in this way you can go ahead, but suppose you will declare the number as 0, so it will display the output as 0. Next is your while loop. While will be same as your Java expression. While text expression colon, press mark, then indentation will be there, and then after that you will write the set of the statement. So here the simple example you can see to it. I have also taken it with the red colors, that you can replace it with the input as well, but I'm directly for the explanation part, uh, directly considering the initialization of the variables, because I hope you have understood how to accept the input. So at that time you can, whenever you are doing at home uh, uh, the execution of such programs, at that time you can accept the input. That is also given here in this statement. N is equal to 10, right? Sum is equal to 0. I have declared I is equal to 1. While I less than equal to n colon mark, right? I wins 1 and n is your basically 10. At that time, whenever this condition is satisfied, under that we are writing sum is equal to sum plus I. We are performing the summation of the numbers. Then once again we are incrementing a value. We are incrementing value. These two statements, sum is equal to sum plus I, and then statement I is equal to I plus 1, both are under the execution of the while statement till it is true. Once it will become false, so it will go and print sum is sum. Why it will go for the false? Because whenever you see the statement print and while, both are one below the others. There is no indentation mark of it. So whenever you run this program, it will basically display you the output. 1 less than equal to 10, then sum is equal to sum plus I. I will be incremented, becomes 2. 2 less than 10, yes, sum, once again previous value of sum will be added with the 2. Then I will be incremented 3. Then 3 less than equal to 10, it will be continuous in this way till the value of I will become 11. At that time, it will print only the sum, and that sum will be displayed as 55. Next is while loop, also used along with the else. Only the difference is that at the end you have to write else. Whenever you want that complete statement execution after the whiles, else will also be printed, so you can use that else part. While condition colon, then press enter indentation mark, you will write whatever you want to print, then else colon, then print. Once this condition will become false, then while will also be printed. As you can say that counter is equal to 0 till the counter will be 0, 1 and 2, means 3 times. So inside loop, inside loop, inside loop, 3 times will be printed. Once the counter will become false, this condition will become false, it will go for the else part, and here inside else it will be printed. So you want a situation where you want to see that the else is finished, while is finished right now. So at that time you can utilize that else part. Next, for loop, for value in sequence, body of it, val is your variable, in is your in operator that you have studied. Then sequence, it may be anything, it may be the string, it may be the list, it may be the tuple, dictionary, what you want. Then body of means whatever the statement you want to execute under that for loop, you can write it. Here a simple example, number, that is your list is displayed, declared numbers is equal to 6, 5 up to the 11, each are everything is included inside the square bracket. So basically this is your list. Then we have initialized sum is equal to 0. Then for loop, for I is your variable, in is basically your in operators, where in numbers is nothing but your list. So we are checking each and everything in the list, and we are giving the reference with the help of that your variable I, right? So sum is equal to sum plus I. It will take the first data 6, it will perform the addition, it will take this next data 5, 3, 8, 4 up to 11, and all our summation is to be performed and stored into the sum. Once it is finished, so it will print your sum. So here you can see that there is no increment decrement operator. By default it will go line by line, one after the others, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And at the end, once it is finished, no more data is available, so it will become it will return back and display you the result. You can use the for loop in that scenario. We do not require to use the increment operators. It will be automatically incremented one by one. Next is your range. Range is also used along with your for loop. We have seen in the case of the data type as well, range. Range is basically a functions. Inside that we are passing a parameter. If you are writing a range 10, so it will go from 0 to 9 total, 10 values. So how it will print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. in that sequence one by one automatically incremented and it will be displayed. Otherwise, you can also use in this way as range, then start value, stop value, then there is step size. Step size also you can define it. For example, start is your 10 and stop is your 20. So these two limits have you have defined. And then if you are not defining the step size, so it will go for 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. But suppose the step size is displayed as 2. 2 is written. So it will go 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. It does not go 20 because always less than 1. So in this way you can use it, the range function. Basically this range function is used along with the for loop mostly. So if you are writing print range of 10, so it will display the value from range value from 0 to 10, right? If you want to create a list with the help of range function, you can write print list range 10. So it will create a list like this one. Here you can see it up statement 0 comma 1 comma 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So list will be created. Suppose you are writing list range 2 comma 8. Here the start limit and end limit is given, so it will travel from 0 to 2 to 7. So here the list will be 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. Suppose you are written read length to 20, start limit is 2, stop limit is 20, and increment is 3. So it will go from 2 to 19, whatever the number it comes under that category, and increment is 3. So 2 3 2 plus 3 5, 5 plus 3 8, 8 plus 3 11, 11 plus 3 14, 14 plus 3 17. In this way will go it will go by using the range functions. So program to iterate to the list using indexing. Suppose one list is displayed pop, rock, and jazz, and then how you can iterate it for I in range. Range is given, but the range we don't know what is the range of it numbers. So length function can be used with the list, as we have discussed in the case of the data types as well, and genuine. So it will take any number. For example, 1 2 3, 3 will be the range, right? So for I like genre of I, so I will be, so for example, 0 1 and 2. So it will be I like 0 पे क्या है pop, pop is displayed. I like next is rock, rock is displayed. I like jazz, next jazz is displayed. In this way you can also utilize your range functions. Next is your for loop. Next is your for loop, how to display it by using this. Suppose digits, one list is displayed 0 1 comma 5. Then for I in digits, then you're printing the value of I, else no items left. So it will display each and every value 0 1 and 5 because the print statement is used along with that. And at the end, whenever it is finished, the else part will be displayed. So else will also give you the message that the particular items is no item is left into this. So you can use that. These are the practical examples. I want everyone should be ready from the next week with these three programs. Write a program to make a simple calculator. At that time, I won't explain you now. I want you from your side to you do it. Factorial of a number, Armstrong number, simple calculator by using the Python programming. This is a simple example to display the pattern. Everyone, I want you to write this program. Write it. Write this program. We have read this program in the C. We have written this program in Java as well. So I want you to write in the Python as well. Will you write it? Reply it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. Within 2 minutes, everyone light, na? Only 2 or 3 lines of the code is there. For loop, two for loops, and two print statement. Two for loops, one for the row, second for loop for the column. One print to stop the cursor onto the same line. Next print to move the cursor to the next line. Finished. These 4 lines of the code is there. If anybody got, then you replied in the chat box. Once the session gets over, everyone log in onto the same ID and password. Some slides are left for this topic. We want to finish it by today. If anybody got the output, reply it in the chat box. You can use the range function. Second hint I want to give it to you. For I in, if you want, you can use the range function. If you want to use or declare a variable, you can declare it